welcome to the Lina Knits podcast, which is my podcast about knitting and occasionally other crafting. My aim with everything I do is to find joy and get cozy, so please join me. This is episode 38. Today is June the 12th. It's a Monday. I usually record on a Thursday, but last week I was away from home. I was part working, part on a holiday with my son and my mother in eastern Finland, in Imatra and Lappeenranta, by I think it's by the largest lake in Finland, Lake Saimaa, which we had a brilliant time. The weather wasn't cooperating every day, but most of the time it was fine, and I'm really happy that I managed to both do some actual work and also do some fun knitting. But I wasn't able to find the time to record a podcast there, so I decided to do it a few days late now that I'm back home. So, what's been going on since the last episode? We have a summer lace along going on in the Lina Knits Ravelry group, and you are very welcome to come and join us. There are some amazing prizes lined up, and there's one more that I've yet to add to the list, but it's coming. And the basic idea is to knit something that has lace. It can be full-on, really elegant, delicate lace, or it can just be a lace insert, say a lace border on a shawl, or running down a sweater, or a detail on a mitten, whatever your fancy takes you. My patterns, Arbor and Favorite Things, are excellent patterns for the knit along, and if you knit them and enter them into the finished object thread, you will be eligible for a bonus entry. But I just like to state it one more time that any lace project is fine. You don't have to knit Lina Knits patterns. More about the rules and the prizes can be found on the Lina Knits Ravelry group, which you can find by searching Lina Knits on the group tabs on Ravelry. The YouTube channel header should have a link to the group, and I'll also link it in the show notes on my website, which is linaknits.com. I was going to talk about this at the end of the podcast, but since it sort of ties in with the summer lace along, I'll go ahead and do it now. So this Thursday, June 15th, I will be releasing a new pattern called Merriment, and it's for this lacy hat. So this is another pattern, another Lina Knits pattern you could knit for the summer lace along. I've shown this in 2 episodes ago. I showed these, and it's been test knit. So if you want to see more examples of how this knits up, you can go on the Lina Knits Ravelry group and look at the photos on the test knit thread. So if you're interested in knowing when this comes out, you can sign up to my newsletter at linaknits.com, and I'll also link to it in the Ravelry group show notes. So I both post show notes in 2 places, in the Ravelry group and on my website. So yeah, if you sign up to the newsletter, you'll be the first people to know. You'll be among the first people to know when the pattern is live. I will also post about it on my Instagram account, and I'm Lina Knits over there, and I'll also post about the pattern on my group. So plenty of places to keep up to date, but the best way is the newsletter. Right. Okay, moving on to what I've been knitting since the past episode. I have finally finished my no purl monkey socks. So this is a pattern by Cookie A. The yarn that I used and that I absolutely adore is by Chunk Yarn, and it's the smooth sock base in the colorway Tailor. It has 463 yards, if I'm reading that label correctly, which is about 430 meters. So it's on the thin side of fingering weight yarn, and it's just a really adorable summery colorway. I've knit this one, I used 2mm DBNs. I've knit this pattern once before, and I think this is the first sock pattern that I've knit the second time. And the first time I did it, I used sort of the original version, I used the pearls. So a comparison between the two is this. And I think I actually prefer the no purl version, but it just might be that I like this yarn better than the other one. And this one is Holiday Yarns Flock Sock in the colorway 80s Dance Mix. And it seems that I did the same number of repeats. I have no idea why the size is different. I know well, the yarn is different, and I think I did not use, I used 2mm needles, but I don't think they were the things that I used for these ones. So different yarn and different needles. It might be that when I purl and the rows are sort of tighter, I don't know. The same pattern, two versions. So that's the only thing that I've finished. And yeah, these have not been properly blocked, and as you can see, there's still some weaving in to do. But what else have I been knitting? Well, I mentioned the summer lace along, and I cast on, it began on June 1st, and I cast on for it, a new project for it, because I like casting on new projects, and this was a good excuse. Also, I really wanted to work with this linen yarn, BC Garn Lino. Wanted to work with it because I wanted to have something to wear this summer with this yarn. I purchased this yarn the previous summer, but didn't find a pattern to go with it. But now I have cast on for something. This is Zinone by Andy Sutherland, and I'm really not sure how this is going to work out. This is supposed to be the back piece, and it looks like it's too wide. The thing is, the sample that Andy Sutherland knit for this pattern was done in Quince & Co. Quince & Co. Sparrow, their linen yarn, and it's the same yardage as this, 150 meters per 50 gram. And the pattern called for 3.75mm needles. But if you are familiar with things, you know these are not, the red ones are not it. These are 2.5mm needles. I think it's US 2. or yeah, I think, no, use one. And it's still a bit wide. On the stockinette swatch that I did, I got the correct stitch gauge with these, and the row gauge is off, but that's easier to adjust in the pattern than the stitch count. I'm hoping that once I block it, it'll sort of stretch downwards and thus come in from the sides. So I'm going to keep going on with this. I don't really mind if the top is sort of on the looser side fit wise, but of course I worry about running out of yarn. So yeah, this is an experiment with linen yarn. If this top does not work out, I think once I have the back, well, no, you need the beginning of the back, beginning of the front, join in the round, but once I'm a bit further along, I can hopefully see whether it's going to work out or not. If not, then I'm going to frog and just knit a linen shawl and forget about knitting linen tops. But yeah, that's my project for the summer lace along. Another project that I will be working on, since whips are allowed, unless they're close to being finished by June 1st. So if you cast on close to June 1st, you can always enter those projects. But it's this one. I've shown this before and I have not worked on it since, but I'm showing it again now. This is the Asana Shawl by Helen Stewart, and as you can see, it's not even close to being 50% done. It has a garter body and then quite a thick lace border, and I'm knitting this with 3/4 lace merino silk. It has 800 meters per 100 grams, 866 yards. It's 80% extra fine merino and 20% silk, so it's really, really nice. The colorway is Breathe No More. It's a nice gradient. I still have quite a bit left of the silvery gray before it starts going on to the purples. But yeah, the knit along is going on until the end of July, so I hope that I get the top and the shawl finished by then. But the reason why I have made so little progress on those and any other whips that you might have seen if you watched the podcast before is I've been obsessed with this one. This is my walk along sweater by Anka Strick. It's, well, a top. It's all messy here. It's a short sleeved top, and this is what it looks like. I think I need to I'm doing it a bit shorter than the pattern called for, so I think I need to knit 2 more rounds and then bind off for the body, and then just work a few rounds on each sleeve. So I've been really, really obsessed with this one. I'm using another gradient yarn by Cottery for this one. This is all I have left, but it should be enough for the sleeves. So watching the colors change has been really enjoyable and kept me going. I really like how it has these larger swatches of the rust brown with shorter sections of these bluish and purplish colors. It would have gone on for a lot more on the purple, which is all I have left for the sleeves, which is fine. It goes really well with where I finished with them, where I separated for them. So yeah, this is the sock silk base. It's 50% merino and 50% silk. So it looks, because of the silk content, it looks a bit wrinkly, but I think it just blocking will even it out, but I think it just adds to the liveliness, and it's just wonderful. Again, a bit slightly loose fit, not too fitting, but not too loose either. So this one has sort of like a fake t-shirt under a t-shirt. So you added, or you began knitting in a contrast color, which for me is just white, and it sort of rolls over, and then you add a bit of that contrast color here. So I did one set of rib edging already cast off, and then picked up for the hem, and also the sleeves will have a bit of that white there. And my white is this natural white by Polka, Fiddle Knits Polka, in the pearl colorway. So I'm really happy. I should be finished with this very soon, so I can definitely wear it this summer. So yeah, I've been really rather monogamous with this one. But yeah, so after I finish with this one, I can focus on linen top. And the needles that I'm using are Addi Premiums in the 3mm size, which is US 2.5. So yeah, a bit of a shorter episode this week, but that's what I've been working on. Sign up for my newsletter at linaknits.com and follow me on Instagram as Lina Knits, and come join our summer lace along. If you post on Instagram, you can use the hashtag summer lace along for all your projects. Merriment will be out this Thursday. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, or a bit less now that this is a bit later than normal. So in less than 2 weeks, I'll see you again. And in the meantime, let's stay in touch in the Ravelry group and on Instagram and on comments here on YouTube. Take care. Bye.